Hi, everybody. Welcome to my stream. I am Eco Builder, a member of the Hex community. To be a member of the Hex community, what do you have to do? You have to analyze the truth engine that is Hex. You don't necessarily have to use it. You would probably help you a lot to use it and learn it from there, first person. To be a part of the Hex community, you need to give some credit to Richard Hart for creating Hex and allow him his space because he is going to be a leader going forward. You need to be patient and calm. So, whatever erupts in the area of cryptocurrency, just chill. If something erupts inside of the Hex community, analyze it, pay attention to it, but chill. I would like to tell you that I have been a part of a group called Hex Postcards, and we used the term sacrifice at one point, and it got a lot of people riled up. And we're sorry about riling people up with the term sacrifice. I was put in a position where the leader of our Hex Postcards group wanted to try new things. And so he labeled something sacrifice. And at the time, we were saying, we could come out with all sorts of things. We could do all sorts of things, but no expectations from our work. Instead, historically, what we have done is sent out postcards to many residences around the United States with the funds that have been donated to us. So we were just changing up that word, donation, to sacrifice. And that just made it to where, like, we had a broad range of things that we could do with the funds going forward. We did say that we prefer USDC rather than USDT or Hex itself or Hedron or something like that. Instead, please turn it into a currency that we like before you send it. But the thing that we did was not malicious at all. And in a dictionary, we could actually argue the point. And that was the only reason why I don't stand up and say, hey, this is incorrect. There's a fallacy happening, because there was no fallacy happening. Instead, I believe it's Webster's Dictionary definition 3B. I believe that it says like giving up on the basis of no return or something. This is the true sacrifice. Richard Hart has a sacrifice where we kind of are expecting something, because we sort of had this point system and then interpret this point system converting into some sort of a coin system of keeping tally. And other things have come out in, arising in our community, but also arising in cryptocurrency. Our community is still alive. That's why they're arising in our community and trying to steal value from our community or steal our attention. Settle in our community and then launch something. So yeah, other people have used this term sacrifice, and that's actually what makes it such a bad thing to do, using that term. So earlier, had we used it, it would have all been fine, possibly. Later, if we used it, it might be all fine. But right now, everybody's in a little bit of a mood. So instead of arguing this out with Richard Hart myself, uh, because it seems as though, like, at some point, I turned into a lawyer. I turned into arguing the exact terms and saying, well, technically, we're okay. This all erupted whenever Richard Hart um, tweeted out the Telegram group for the Hex postcards, where we're all communicating and doing our good work. That's where you can find Togosh. That's where you can find Philip Banks, and that's where you can find Hex Fan Network Victor, and that's where you can find David James One, who was actually called out by Richard for good work, because he's out there doing postcards, doing yard signs, doing magnets. He's putting them in people's mailboxes. He's putting them on people's driver's side windows in parked cars, like really expensive cars. He's going after those. So it's really cool. I've showed you guys some Jeep magnets that I've made recently. Philip Banks has equipped me with this badass aluminum card. We designed it collaboration. I wanted to make sure that I got some of these for the October 15th party, which is this Saturday, that I'm hosting a Hex party downtown Georgetown, Central Texas. Come out. It's free from noon on till whenever the heck we choose to give it up. And so I'm encouraging everybody to meet me down at my family property, which is 224 West 8th Street, Georgetown, Texas, 78628, if you want to look that up. And then when we meet there, there'll be band, DJ, a model handing out hats and t-shirts that I've got for everybody. Here's one of the Hex Texas t-shirts. Sweet. And so I will then encourage you to group up and go to a restaurant and come back and enjoy the music, enjoy the live stream. Some of the time that I'm spending right now is figuring out how it is that I'm going to do the live stream. I'm going to have a live stream for like 5 cameras and 4 or 5 microphones. So I'm going to have to upgrade my knowledge of live streaming and probably go to OBS. Right now I'm using StreamYard, and StreamYard has been really good for me. But yeah, I did a test stream the other day and realized that I could only get 2 cameras in the same space. Yes, that does count. A chimichanga does count, academia initiated. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Okay, so back to my Hex Postcards group apology. Everyone in the Hex Postcards group was not malicious. We're continuing to take donations. We've just changed the website over to say the word donations. All of the funds that go into the sacrifice addresses are turned into postcards historically, right? The way that we're able to do that at a good rate is Philip Banks owns a printing company. So they're used to fulfilling these orders and getting them out to the USPS and getting them to every door. If you haven't checked out the things that I've done, where we go and look at the specific routes within the zip codes, so we're actually able to dissect the city and select specific blocks where they're the routes that the guys go every day, right? We're able to do it down to that. And I advise you go check it out because you might be interested. And if you want to be a part of something that's making moves in the Hex community, come join us, t.me/Hex postcards. Whenever it was that Richard called us out, I told you he gave props to David James, but he also called out Hex postcards, saying that he didn't know that we were running a sacrifice. And he doesn't have all the time in the world to research what everybody's doing. which I totally agree with. Um, and he also said what it was a guy who I don't know the exact quote, right? But it was a guy who had a fundraising idea. That's what he said. And it was a lull situation. So what I imagine that as is it's just a pat on the head, change the wording and keep going. You'll learn. You'll learn as leaders how to be a leader. And that's what we're facing is growing pains. This is a non-malicious situation. If you want to check the wallets, please do. If you want to come in and have conversations with us, please do. And if you want some awesome um, stuff to entice people to be a part of the Hex community or look into Hex, please go to hex.promo because Philip Banks is doing some amazing work within our community and giving us the tools to work with. And he is a great designer to where all you have to do is have an idea and start working with him, throwing it down towards the finish line, and boom, it's on your doorstep. All right. So thank you guys very, very much for being here and listening to my apology from everyone in the Hex Postcards group, especially the leaders in the Hex Postcard group. We tried to brush up our language, and props out to all the people who rose the flag and said, "Hey, there may not be everything in order here." You know, Richard, they tweet out, "Richard, are you sure about this? Did you know that these guys were running a sacrifice?" Shout out to Gold Key, who came into the Hex Postcards chat, had a back and forth with me, and basically once we were into the back and forth, he said, like, why don't you just call it a donation? And it's like, well, because we didn't choose to call it a donation. We called it a sacrifice. And based on dictionary terms, we fit within this region. And Gold Key said, "Hey, I love what you guys are doing. I just wish you would change the terminology." And he left the conversation at that. So that's what um, that's what we're all about. Okay, getting down to the truth, exchanging truthful information with each other, figuring out where it is that people are in their lives and in their learning and in their crypto. So I don't mean to, we don't mean to discourage anyone from participating in Hex postcards. And we also do a lot more than just postcards. So please come be a part of the thing instead of being an armchair quarterback, maybe. I'm not calling out anyone. Instead, I'm just saying, hey, we effing need your help. Whatever it is, your perspective, we need it. Come, come be a part of everything. And if you don't like something, create something new. Create something that's better. Um, invent the new that makes the old old. All right, so everyone, you're all welcome to my Hex party, October 15th, which is this Saturday. And everyone be good to each other because if people aren't Hexicans yet, they soon will be. Talk to you all later.